The movie opens with a high-octane chase as criminal speeds away in a car with a terrified kidnapped woman in the back seat. However, their plans go awry when the car crashes. Seizing the opportunity, the woman attempts to escape, but the panicked criminal draws his gun, realizing the police are closing in. The next day, the entire city buzzes with news of the dramatic night. Detectives Quenton Connors and Jason York confront the kidnapper, fatally shooting him in the heat of the moment. This decision costs them their jobs, and they struggle to adapt to their sudden change in circumstances. Months later, just when things seem to settle, a new twist unfolds as a daring group of robbers takes action. A group of determined bank robbers storm in, warning everyone not to play the hero. However, a courageous or perhaps reckless bank employee discreetly triggers the alarm. The robbers catch on, leading to dire consequences for the employee. With the alarm blaring, they rush to crack the bank's vault, while the police swiftly arrive. Surprisingly, head robber Lawrence insists on negotiating with former Officer Connors, who's no longer on the force. He threatens harm to the hostages unless Connors is brought in. The police chief personally appeals to Connors, offering his badge back if he handles the situation. Connors agrees and prepares for a showdown. Arriving at the bank, he's summoned to talk with Lawrence, who reveals a chilling motive, seeking revenge for his brother, killed by Connors 2 months ago. After the call, Connors devises a plan. The SWAT team was ordered to cut off the bank's electricity, with the hope of disabling the automatic doors for entry. However, the situation darkened when the robbers responded by hanging 2 hostages, inciting panic among the SWAT team, who wanted to storm the bank immediately. Connors sensed a trap and urged caution, warning against playing into the robbers' hands. Before they could decide on a course of action, an explosion shook the bank's interior, leaving several SWAT members incapacitated. In the ensuing chaos, some hostages managed to escape. When the police finally entered the bank, they discovered that Lawrence's gang had vanished. Even more puzzling, not a single dollar had been taken. It appeared the bank heist wasn't motivated by money. Connors attempted to gather more clues by checking the bank's CCTV footage, but the robbers had sabotaged it, leaving the police with more questions than answers. Meanwhile, the astute detective Shane Decker analyzed the conversation between Connors and Lawrence, realizing that Lawrence was employing a cunning plan. Decker, eager to share his insights on the chaos strategy, met with Connors at a cafe over coffee. He explained how Lawrence used this tactic to confound the police, believing that connecting the dots between various events could crack the case wide open. Connors, new to the concept, listened intently as Decker broke it down for him. After their discussion, Connors returned to the crime scene, offering Decker a ride. As they left, Connors handed Decker $10 for the coffee, but Decker corrected the amount to $2 with a wry smile. Back at the bank, 2 senior detectives analyzed external CCTV footage, identifying a suspect working with Lawrence's crew. Their strategy was clear. Capturing this individual would lead them closer to Lawrence. In a swift turn of events, the police located their fugitive, preparing for a raid to capture them. However, chaos erupted, with bullets flying. Amidst the confusion, the fugitive managed to escape by diving through a window and fleeing in a car. Undeterred, Decker chased the fugitive on a nearby motorbike, but lost control, tumbling. Yet just when the fugitive seemed to escape, Connors rammed his car into them. Overwhelmed by anger and adrenaline, Connors apprehended the fugitive, ensuring medical attention, though with some rough handling. Connors later returned to the fugitive's apartment in search of evidence linking him to Lawrence's group. Inside, he found a senior detective already present, discovering a bag filled with money. Intriguingly, this money wasn't from the recent bank robbery, but rather a heist that occurred a month ago. The cash had a distinct fragrance, commonly used in investigators' offices to mark money as evidence, raising alarm bells. With this lead, Connors and Decker turned their attention to the investigator's office to unravel the mystery of the fragrant money. They discovered that Detective Callow frequently visited the investigator's office. Callow had recently obtained a bag of money, claiming it as evidence, confirmed by his guest book entries. Suspicion grew about Callow's connection to both the fugitive and Lawrence, leading Connors and Decker to urgently approach the police chief, advocating for Callow's immediate arrest. Their plea was abruptly halted by shocking news. Detective Callow was discovered dead in his residence. Rushing to Callow's home, they found a crucial piece of evidence, a map pinpointing the bank targeted in the morning's robbery. This further solidified their belief in Callow's involvement in criminal activities. With Callow's death, direct testimonies or confessions became impossible. During their investigation, the house phone rang, with Lawrence on the other end, the mastermind behind it all. His chilling words marked Connors as a target, intensifying the game of cat and mouse. Outside Connors' home, Decker, with a contemplative expression, voiced concerns about the case's increasing complexity. He believed that to truly understand and solve the puzzle, they needed to trace back to the beginning, returning to the origin of it all. Arriving at the malfunctioning bank with a clear plan, Decker enlisted top-notch police experts to revive the non-functional CCTV system. Their expertise brought the cameras back online, but the footage revealed an unexpected twist. The robbers were nowhere to be seen, as if they had never been there. Exhausted and hungry, Connors, Decker, and the two senior detectives recharged at a local restaurant. During dinner, they learned of an informant revealing Lawrence's alliance with a skilled hacker. They left the restaurant to confront this lead. The hacker's cover was blown, leading to a deadly encounter with Lawrence, sending a chilling message. Lawrence made it clear that anyone in his group caught by the police was expendable. When Connors and Decker arrived, they found the lifeless body of the hacker. In the distance, Lawrence managed to escape in a car, evading pursuit once more. Seeking more clues, Connors and Decker interrogated the fugitive at the hospital. Under Decker's menacing threats, the fugitive divulged Lawrence's gang's plan to meet at Lawrence's old residence the following night. The next day, they briefed the police chief, setting up an ambush. However, a police alarm accidentally alerted Lawrence's gang to their presence, sparking an intense shootout. While they neutralized some of Lawrence's men outside, inside was another round of gunfire. At the peak of tension, Senior Detective Teddy spotted a ticking bomb, seconds from detonating. Urgently, she warned Decker and the team. They scrambled to safety, but Connors, confronting one of Lawrence's men, wasn't as fortunate. From a distance, Lawrence observed the explosion with satisfaction, believing he had settled the score. Decker and the senior detectives narrowly escaped, gazing in shock and sorrow at the aftermath that claimed Connors. The sight of his charred remains was heart-wrenching. With the new day, grieving Decker returned to the police station. An aide officer revealed Lawrence's genius, discreetly siphoning small sums from each customer's account via a virus implanted in the bank system. Cumulatively, this minor theft resulted in a staggering $1 billion heist, unnoticed by individual customers until its collective scale became evident. This historic heist brought clarity to Decker. Lawrence's use of the chaos theory was a diversion from the actual heist. When Decker prepared to leave, he received an unexpected call from Lawrence, warning him to stop the pursuit or meet Connor's fate. Instead of deterring Decker, it fueled a fiercer determination. Decker went to the investigator's office, planning to interrogate Harry, the officer in charge. He had found discrepancies in the guest book supposedly signed by Detective Callow, believing it to be a forgery. After relentless probing, Harry admitted to forging Callow's signature due to resentment and confessed to giving the money to the fugitive to secure his cooperation with Lawrence. A slip from Harry revealed that the force recognized Lawrence's dominance over Connor. This revelation prompted Decker to threaten Harry, seeking Lawrence's true identity with Harry's family at stake. Eventually, Harry disclosed that Lawrence was none other than, in a surprising twist, it was revealed that York, a former colleague of Connor's dismissed early in the film for shooting a criminal and a female hostage, orchestrated the chaos. Masquerading as Lawrence, York sought vengeance against the police force for his dismissal after years of loyal service. Decker, along with the senior detective, took a bold move by surprising York at a cafe where he was casually sipping coffee, resulting in a tense situation with bullets flying. In the end, Decker successfully overpowered York, feeling a sense of accomplishment, thinking he was closer to resolving the chaos. While at a cafe, Decker noticed an unusual smell from his money, similar to that from the investigator's office. Recalling receiving money from Connor, his suspicion grew. Visiting Connor's home, Decker found a book on chaos theory, with Connor's highlighting. Recollecting Connor's struggle with the theory, a chilling realization dawned. Connors might be the mastermind behind the robbery and faked his death to divert attention. Eager to verify his suspicions, Decker coordinated with his colleagues to check if Connors was attempting to leave the city via the airport. Amid the whirlwind of events, Decker noticed the name James Gleck printed on the book's side, the author who had written about the chaos theory. Thinking quickly, he urged his colleagues to search for anyone using the name James G., suspecting that Connors might be using it as an alias. Decker remained persistent in his belief that Connors might still be lurking around the airport. When he reached the airport, he immediately inquired with officials about passengers registered under the name James G. Before the officials could respond, Decker's phone rang, and to his surprise, it was Connors on the other end. The conversation unfolded with intense urgency. All the puzzle pieces finally fell into place when Connors confessed to masterminding the robberies and conspiring with York, also known as Lawrence. It was York's role to assemble the crew for the heist, explaining why none of his men recognized or knew Connors. Connors informed Decker that he had successfully changed his identity and planned to start fresh in a different country. Reminding Decker that he was technically considered dead, Connors believed he was untraceable. With meticulous planning, Connors manipulated the SWAT team to cut off the bank's power, facilitating the hackers' infiltration of the system. The explosion at York's house was yet another of Connors' tricks, as he had set up the bomb himself just before it detonated. He took cover in a basement to ensure everyone believed he perished in the explosion, even placing a police badge on one of York's crew members to make the body unrecognizable. Connors cleverly disguised himself as a firefighter and escaped unnoticed. Unbeknownst to Decker, he frantically searched for any sign of Connors, always one step behind. Connors didn't use the main airport, as he had a private jet waiting at a smaller one. With the billions he had accumulated, Connors could afford anything he desired. The truth about Connors' schemes became clear, hitting Decker hard. The movie concludes with an image of Connors boarding his jet, ready to begin his new life as a millionaire. The moral of the story underscores the importance of double-checking even the smallest details, as they may be connected to a billion-dollar heist.